What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we are doing another Omnibuddy overview. What are we looking at? We are looking at Rick Remender's, I don't know if you want to call it his magnum opus, his best story ever, but it is one of his most loved and sought after stories. It's one that is heavily out of print, sadly. You can still find it around. The library editions are crazy out of print. Hopefully Dark Horse or Image or whoever has the rights to it at this point can reprint it at some point. Okay, enough talking. What are we looking at? We are looking at Fear Agent. All right, so just to get it out of the way, I have custom dust jackets made for my Dark Horse Library Edition versions of Fear Agent. Love these dust covers, super good. There are some really talented guys out there who can whip up some amazing dust jackets for books to either match your series or if a series is looking kind of drab and lame, to spice it up a little bit. So if you're interested in all that, I have videos on folding custom dust jackets. There's tons of people online that you can hit up on Instagram, and not so many people on YouTube, but Instagram and Facebook, all over there for custom dust jackets and custom binds and all that kind of stuff. Crazy cool stuff out there. Anyways, this is it's Rick Remender's one of his top stories, arguably his best story of all time, I guess you could say, at least what it's known to be. And for me, diving into it, I actually took, this is before we're gonna lay the book down and take a quick look at it too, but well, both books, but for me, I made a huge mistake when I was reading these books. I read the first one, I thought it was pretty good, and then I took a break. As I do, I jump from series to series, I jump from genre to genre all the time to keep myself from getting bored, to kind of just spice things up and keep my palate kind of cleansed with reading. That was my huge mistake when reading this story, because volume 2 very heavily pulls from volume 1. It's not like a one and done and then, oh, now we're picking up and it's totally new. It all kind of ties together and does some crazy stuff. Super confusing to do. It took me about halfway through volume 2 before I was like, okay, I kind of remember what's going on now. I should have either reread volume 1 or went to Wikipedia or whatever and read the a synopsis of what happened in volume 1, because I got myself all kinds of lost. So don't do that, because it can kill your enjoyment. That is fair warning with this book. You got to read it all together and just commit and do it like I didn't do. So learn from my mistakes. All right, let's get into Rick Remender's and Jerome Opeña's masterpiece, I'd call it, Fear Agent. All right, so here we have Fear Agent Library Edition Volume 1 and 2. And these things are absolutely enormous. And like I said before, these are the custom dust jackets I have on here. Here is Volume 1, and I'll just take these off real quick so that we can see them better. Here's Volume 1, and here, boom, is Volume 2. And they're they look pretty good overall, and they're uniform, which I can definitely appreciate, but they're definitely not nearly as cool as the custom dust jackets. So we'll put this guy off to the side, and we will take a quick look at Volume 1. Here is the cover, and here we have the spine, and here we have the back cover. So this is, again, by Dark Horse, and it does actually jump through publishers, Dark Horse and Image, some of these with Volume 1 and 2 and things like that. So Dark Horse and Image. These books are produced by Dark Horse. $49.99 retail USD, but they are sadly very out of print. But yeah, so this book, oh, by the way, I mean, look at that. How freaking awesome are these end sheets? I am a huge sucker for end sheets and good end sheets like this, where it's just really cool art that is just super fun and super cool. Yeah. These are some of the cooler ones I've seen in a long time. Anyways, tells the story of Heath Houston, kind of a space cowboy, alcoholic, struggling with life kind of guy, who's really kind of his only friend, seems like, is his AI for his spaceship. Kind of got a little bit of a, I'm that old school, I don't even know what it is, 60s, 70s, just that space, Lost in Space type suits, and just going on crazy adventures and all that. It's got some really cool stuff at the beginning, obviously. Just kind of skipped over, but this art is just absolutely fantastic, and it's awesome. It just kind of drops you right in with, it's a little bit, let's turn that light a little bit. There we go. Not as much glare. Anyways, drops you right in with like space truckers and crazy, ridiculous aliens, and obviously gets some crazy gore, and you realize pretty straight away that this dude Heath has a bit of a drinking problem, which is very apropos of these old westerns and do it your way kind of a thing, and smoke and just shoot first, ask questions later, go in without a plan, and you end up running for your life and don't come out fully fully intact necessarily, and generally everyone dies at the end and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of Heath, and gets you really kind of just into the thick of it, and he's always arguing and trying to make a buck and get by in life, and he's married and struggling with his marriage, and trying to be a good dad and all that, and then worlds get invaded, and dang, just tons of stuff going on, and very cool, just like pulpy sci-fi, cool action, really fun art, great colors. Yeah, just, oh man, obviously you can see his guts kind of spilled out there on the on the page, and so it's obviously pretty gory and pretty rough. I mean, pretty cool fun stuff like giant alien brains and all that, and planets being invaded, and like I said before, trying to be a good dad, good husband, good friend, but also just really not not a guy who's got his life together and really struggling with that. And obviously got a lot of Western in there too, not just space Western, but when people die and he's dealing with, I'd say, pretty heavy like post-traumatic stress and alcoholism, and does he have a death wish, and yeah, and being a fear agent, so they're all just kind of space cowboys, enforcers. Yeah, so I would say we're the folks that just saved your ass, we're the fear agents. And at first I had no idea that fear agents were more than just him, and yeah, and what they were and what they stand for and how they operate, and you learn all that. And these books, like I said before, you cannot stop reading these books once you start, not just because they are really great stories, but they jump around in time a lot and tell a lot of different stories. And when you take a break, as long as I did, and you come back and you're like, oh no, I do not remember what I've been reading. It can get rough, even though the stories are just so cool, and they scoot along pretty fast. So I'm one of those guys that likes to, jump around and savor stories. Like one of my favorite stories, Usagi Yojimbo. I seem to mention that story in every video I make, it seems like, but that's because one of my favorite stories. But I have taken my sweet time reading through that massive 37 at this point, 37-year long, 38-year long tale. And I've been taking my time through it, even though I love it. So I take my time through books, and I like to, finish a book and then come back to it. And but loss of friends and fellow compatriots, and dealing with invasions and just politics and all that kind of stuff. It just gets crazy. And the loss of your planet and the loss of your people and your family, and what that does to a man. As a dad myself, it's like, dang, I can't imagine some of the stuff that he's going through. So it hits hard, but it's also a very fun story. And I mean, this art, come on, like, it's, of course I turned to some like skanky page, but when I say the art, but this art is just unbelievable, and these colors, dang, just every page is so cool. I just love this art style too. Anyways, and then I got some extra stuff in here at the end, some of the extra stories, and so the art kind of changes up and things like that, which is cool. And then they got a lot of cool extras in here, which is awesome to see. I love seeing extras and the as things progress, and how they change, and how they start from what they start, and the cover pinups, which is so cool. Let's see, and I gotta say, these deluxe library editions that Dark Horse does, man, this art is just so good. It is so huge and just fits this kind of a story so well. So that is volume 1. Let's switch over to volume 2. I'll flip through that one a little bit quicker because don't want to, I don't like to talk too much about stories, just because I don't like to give it away. I just like to give my impressions and the general feeling of it. So this is the back of volume 2, just to give you an idea. And of this one also retails for $50 USD. There's the spine real quick, and there's the front cover. If you missed it for the first 5 minutes, we were just sitting on there. There's that sweet end sheets. And there's some more, and you can see he's older in that back one. This one collects, it's like 17 and on, I believe is what it is, which is like Hatchet Job, and it's like 17 through 32, and then includes some of the Tales of Fear Agent, some of the bonus stories in here. So that's pretty much what you're getting out of this one. And this one was crazy and super fun. I actually enjoyed volume 2 a lot more than I did volume 1, even though I was struggling to remember what was going on and what had happened, because I took probably a year-long break between the two, which was, you could take like a month or so or something and then come back, but taking a year-long break between the two was a very big mistake. So do not make that mistake like I did. But dang, I mean, come on, look at this art. I mean, you can't get away from that art too long unless you're an idiot like me. Come on. And just some super fun stories in here, super interesting. And then it gets into a lot of time travel and some really funky stuff that's going on that I really do not want to give away, because it gets crazy with Heath kind of fighting Heath, not just fighting himself as an addict and a man struggling and in desperate need of some therapy, but Heath fighting Heath physically too. And what happens when he goes bad and how he can stay good, and holy crap, like look at this art. Every time I see it, I'm just blown away by it. It's so good. And then, yeah, lots of time passing, 150 million years later. And, it jumps around a lot, and it tells a pretty crazy, epic story, spanning universe and time, and all about one man, basically, and his life. And, does he come out the other end for better, for worse, alive, dead? I'm not going to exactly say what happens, and I'm not going to show the end, really. But yeah, so we'll go back, and this has a really great sketch gallery, and some more of that progression and things like that. Oh man, that's so good. So good. Yeah, and then cool little cosplay things in there. Really fun stuff. Statues. So cool. Oh, man, I kind of really want to get some original art from this, but that would be crazy expensive. Anyways, that's it. We got some more pinup galleries. Yeah, dang, this one has a lot of extras in it. A lot more than the other one, actually. But the other one had a fair amount too, actually, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's it. That's a quick overview of Fear Agent Library Edition Volume 1 and 2, published. These are, again, by Dark Horse, and it was published through Some Image and Some Dark Horse. These are the complete full story of Fear Agent, and it's all by Dark Horse. So that's a quick look. All right, so that was a quick overview of Rick Remender's and Jerome Peña's Fear Agent. Those were the Dark Horse Library editions, and they're so good. The binding is not the greatest, but the presentation is amazing. The binding tends to have a little bit of problems with sort of coming apart, sort of not, cracks a lot, but they're relatively loose, and I've seen this all across the board. Everyone I know has talked, it seems like everyone I know talks about how, like, oh, how's your binding holding up? And mine's holding up pretty decently, a little loose, but pretty decently for a read through and having them brand new from ordering them online. I think they're a Christmas present, actually, for my brother-in-law, which was pretty awesome Christmas present. Anyways, the art is just amazing. The story is really cool, and just one of those, like, kind of a Western space cowboy, really cool stuff going on. Absolutely loved it. Hopefully hardcover versions of the story comes back to print. I've heard it's jumped over to Image now that owns the rights, and it's not Dark Horse. I'm not even totally sure at this point, but hopefully the story comes back into print, because it is so heavily out of print, and so ridiculous that a cool story like this, especially with such huge names like Rick and Jerome, I feel like I'm like chummy with them or something like that, but Rick Remender and Jerome Peña, like, they're huge names in the industry, and they need to be reprinted, most definitely, because more people need to be able to enjoy these stories and do all that. But again, if you want to support the Omnibuddy channel, please hit up our channel sponsor, Organic Price Book. Use code Organic Priced Books. Use code Omnibuddy for $2 off every order. If you're ordering 3 or more books at one time and they're all in stock, or they're all going to be shipping around the same time, use code Omnibuddy, ship it together, all one word, and you can have them all shipped together at once and save 5% off your entire order. It's a great deal for a store that's already giving you amazing deals, and you can earn ambassador points and use those. I just used all mine and got like $25 off my order because I had so many points stocked up. Really great store, great communication, really fast shipping, amazing packing, great customer service all around. And you're supporting the small business, you're supporting my channel. Really appreciate that. Anyways, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, do all of those things, but most importantly, comment. Have you read Fear Agent? Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Did you take a big pause in the middle and totally screw up your experience with it, that you had to try and remember as you were reading, like, what is going on? What is this referencing? Did you do anything like that? What do you like about, what other Remender books do you like? Let me know in the comments. And then Jerome Opeña, he's one of my top artists, I think. What else do you like Opeña's work on? Let me know in the comments. All right, that's it. Hope you're doing well. Take care. Stay safe.